How's it going, everybody? My name is JustJarrod, but you can just call me Jared, your one-stop shop for legendary loot news. Today we're just going to talk about Wolcen. It has released. Unfortunately, it has a lot of problems with server issues, and basically the servers have been down for almost 2 straight days as of this recording, forcing players to play in offline mode. But offline mode isn't without its issues, the main one being the big possibility you'll lose your progress from a bug or even lose an entire character. Definitely not cool. Lots of people are wanting refunds, yada yada yada. We're not here to focus on the bad. I just want to talk about my overall experience so far by sharing some gameplay, as well as show off the few unique items I've managed to come across in my hack and slash travels through Act 1 of Wolcen Lords of Mayhem. So I blazed through Act 1, took every side dungeon that I found, killed every monster I came across, including an enemy named Snuffles the Good Doggy. Felt a little bad about that one, but I'm happy there's some comedy and weird things to find in the game. Not sure how those side dungeons work, if they're completely random, or if they sometimes are something different with a different named enemy or what. Either way, I like these side dungeons quite a bit. Some of them are just small rooms with like 4 chests in them, which is a cool find too. I'm having a blast so far, and like I said, my loot video for Wolcen, loot progression, at least for me, is really good. I went through the entirety of Act 1 and only had 1 unique drop, and it was towards the end, and 0 legendaries. I'm so happy that the game doesn't just throw crazy rare gear at you early on. I love when games make it tough to get the rare stuff. I want my character to have progression, not be equipping godlike stuff that does crazy things and give me unique buffs right off the bat. So far, that's going really well. I have a build in mind, and I would show you exactly what that looks like, but ever since there's been a bug where you could lose your entire offline character, I've been staying away from playing. I really don't want to lose my guy because I'm pretty excited about the build I have going. Trust me, I wouldn't mind playing through Act 1 all again. I just would rather not feel like I wasted an entire night if my character, who I named Mulligan, were to get erased from existence. I'm trying to go for a build where I can take a lot of hits and dish out a lot of damage. Like a barbarian, I guess, if you want to relate it to Diablo or something. But I'm focusing on tons of health and tons of attack speed, which is toughness and agility as far as the attributes in Wolcen go. I want to be able to wield my favorite weapon type, which is giant two-handers, and be able to swing that thing like there's no freaking tomorrow. I hope that the super fast attack speed will make up for the lack of critical damage or crit chance, since I'm not putting any points really into ferocity. I also plan to deal out a ton of toxic and rend damage, and there's passives on the passive tree for those. I just haven't quite reached the rend one yet. I plan to play as a siege breaker, which is basically a massive tank that gains damage the longer you stay stationary. It's going to be sweet if I can get it to work out. I might end up having to switch to a sword and a shield or something like that to increase defense even more, but for now I'll see if I can manage with a two-handed weapon. I usually don't try to make a build or do any of that, so this is the first time I'm really trying this in an ARPG. If it doesn't work, oh well, but I am excited to see what I can come up with and see if I can get something to actually work. Another cool thing I found is basically Wolcen's equivalent to Diablo's treasure goblins. I don't have any video footage of these guys yet, but I have managed to kill just one. They are treasure beetles, and they like to run away quickly, and if you don't manage to kill them, they'll escape. I've come across 3 and only managed to kill 1 because my attacks are very close range and slow. Every time I would get next to one, it would run off before my hammer actually swung all the way, but it's still a cool little addition to the loot chase. Alright, let's take a look at the 3 unique items I've seen. Remember, unique items are the highest rarity in Wolcen and have unique attributes and looks to them. The unique that I had dropped for me is this Vulcan steel sword. Now the damage numbers are a little low because I'm only level 15 at least at this point, but it has plus 4 seconds rage conservation time. You got plus 11% physical damage, plus 27% fire damage, plus 18 to ferocity, which is not something I was using or am using, and plus 18 to 27 fire damage on attacks with this weapon. Nothing like crazy stand outish. It's basically a sword that is engulfed in flames I would show you, but once again, I don't have the footage because I can't log into the game to actually record the footage, but just take my word for it. It's essentially a steel sword that is just crazy on fire and does fire damage, obviously. Now the lore on the bottom, or the backstory, whatever it may be, flavor text, reads, there is one city that makes the best steel in the 4 realms, Vulcan. The city-state is nested inside a volcano, which grants their deepest forge the temperature needed to melt, blend, and purify the best metals. The resulting steel becomes pure, strong, and extremely sharp. To defend the city, their elite infantry are given rough, jagged versions which captured some of the lava they were forged in. And that basically describes the sword. It is rough-looking, jagged-looking, engulfed in flames. Now, I also found a weird lady down in a random dungeon that was selling items, and she had 2 uniques in her store. She had the Apex one-handed axe, which has plus 2 seconds rage conservation time, plus 2% life leech on bleeding targets, 19 ferocity, 31% chance bleed ailment damage, which goes with the 2% life leech, and plus 21 to 37 rend damage on attacks with this weapon. Now, if I had knew about my build for toxic and rend damage when I saw this in the store, I probably might have bought it. It is still early on. You really don't want to spend all your gold on, like, this thing costs 8,580. That's a lot of gold. Like, I only had 18,000 at the time, and I was already level 14. So I don't think really, just like any ARPG, you don't want to just buy your loot. You're just going to find better loot. It's like Borderlands. You don't buy any of the guns. You just are going to find a better one in 10 seconds, so you might as well not. But this might be good for something that if I find this again later down the line when I've actually progressed in my build for rend and toxic damage a bit more. But yeah, it looks pretty sweet. I didn't actually get to look at it, like in what it looks like visually, besides this picture, because I didn't buy it. But the lore reads, the handle of this axe looks like the spine of a human being, from which the blade has grown and mutated in a gruesome and disgusting way. This axe used to have a name, Kelsier, a cultist that worshipped Astaroth, the fallen lord of flesh, accepted the honor to mutate into a weapon in the name of his evil overseer. To be sure, lunatics find themselves at home within the cult of the Aberrant. Whatever that means, I don't know, but it sounds awesome. Now, this lady also had a 2-handed staff called the Zap Stick. The Zap Stick has plus 24% transfer time reduction between willpower and rage, and basic attack projectiles bounce up to 2 times to nearby enemies in a 10-meter radius. Now, these white attributes here, I do believe, are completely unique to this staff. So this is the only unique that I've found that has actual unique attributes. Now, I've only found 3, obviously, so that's not saying that most of them don't have them, but this is pretty cool. I mean, I don't use magic at all. I don't use staffs, so I obviously didn't buy it. Also, it costs 14 grand. What the world? But it also has 11 to 16 lightning damage added to spells, 52% shock ailment chance, plus 43 to 80 lightning damage on attacks with this weapon. Freeze and burn chance become shock chance, and the shock stacks are on the target and user. So it's all about shock, shock, shock. Pretty cool. It'd be cool if, maybe I was having a build for that. Obviously, don't, but still cool to see. Once again, don't really know what it looks like, but I bet you it looks like there's some kind of electricity going on. Just a guess. The lore on Zap Stick is a pretty interesting story. Anakin's ingenuity was only matched by 2 things, his social anxiety and his laziness. As a farm boy, he crafted a metal stick crowned by an energy crystal that could discharge a tiny amount of electricity in order to force the unruly cattle into their boxes. One day, the boys in town plotted a prank against him and charged the energy crystal with an Eneract that they had luckily found in a field. The next day, Anakin used the staff to gently shock the rear of a reluctant cow. It created a massive lightning shockwave that fried him alive, along with the cows, the farm, and all the pranksters that were hidden nearby to watch the show. Only the Zap Stick remained. Wicked. But that's all I've found in terms of uniques so far. Like I said, I've only played through Act 1, and I'm trying to resist the urge to keep playing because I don't want to lose my character. but from what I've played, I am having a good time with it. Just gotta stay patient until the servers are up and running and the real bad game-breaking bugs are fixed. I think I can do that. I've got tons of other loot games to play and videos to make. I'll be alright. If you did get a chance to actually play Wolcen without losing your character, let me know what you think of the game so far. If you're pissed off because of the servers and the bugs, trust me, I've heard it already. The Steam reviews, the official Wolcen Discord, even the official Wolcen Reddit is full of people complaining, and sure, rightfully so. Things aren't going well, and I'm not defending the devs or anything. Things just happen, and I'm just going with the flow. I totally understand why people are a bit peeved right now. But please, just positive vibes here. If you found any, share with me the unique items you've gotten. I'm definitely pumped to see what kind of items are in the game and what the game, as far as loot goes and uniques go, actually has to offer. But that's it for me in this short Wolcen video. I'll be covering anything loot related on Wolcen. There will be more videos for sure. I just gotta play more of the game when I actually can play the game. Follow me on Twitter for more loot related news and just general loot stuff. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, give it a like as it helps the video get out to more people, and consider subscribing for more epic loot news on Wolcen. Until next time, have a legendary day, night, afternoon. Peace out.